right now with the way things are changing in our environment, a lot of people could be affected. And the question is, what happens if I miss a mortgage payment? What would happen? Hey, Lorne Andrews here from Dominion Lending Center's Expert Financial, OptimalFinance.ca. It's kind of a dreadful situation to think of. However, with rising interest rates, looming recession, possibility of missing mortgage payments or two can become realistic scenario for many Canadian homeowners, especially where inflation is just rising. It is important to at least know and recognize what happens when you miss a mortgage payment and then what could actually happen next. So the good news is there's several potential things that you can do to avoid losing your home in a foreclosure or power of sale, but they all require awareness and working with your lender, your mortgage agent, and other professionals to help you avoid any potential loss of your property. It is important to note that this particular video is not legal advice, and it's nor is it exhaustive of all the options that are out there, but it's important that you engage with a professional as soon as you can to help you navigate through the specific situation. So once you've missed a mortgage payment for longer than 15 days, your lender has the right to send you a notice of sale or a notice of sale under mortgage. Most lenders will call and say, hey, listen, mortgage payment was missed, make arrangements or whatever. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes you're transferring money between accounts and it's missed, and then they just take it up the next day. All good. But 15 days can go by pretty quickly. So it seems unfair that it's within the lender's rights, and it's important to you don't hide or avoid your lender at this point. Okay, so if they're calling you 15 days goes by, you make sure that you're communicating to that lender, because if there's no communication, lender gets very, very nervous. They're going to put things into motion. So the best thing, acknowledge that the payment's been missed and call the lender to inform them of your particular situation. Ask them if and how you can bring the mortgage back up to good standings. Most lenders will work with you and to resolve the situation. So it's important to face the issue head on and make sure that don't wait for the next steps to happen. Work with the lender and the lender team before they escalate it to their legal team. Okay, so what if that didn't happen? What if I get a notice of sale? What does this mean? So a notice of a sale is the first step towards a power of sale in Ontario. The power of sale is the most common type of foreclosure in Canada. It is the preferred process for Ontario. Other provinces do follow different processes, but for Ontario, power of sale is the most common. A power of sale virtually grants the lender the authority to take possession of the property and sell it off in the event that you default on your mortgage. It is a standard part of most mortgage agreements that you sign at the branch or at the lawyer's office when you get the mortgage. The lenders are usually quite flexible. They'll want to work with you to make sure that you can keep the house. The lender is they lend money. They don't want to own homes. This is the worst case scenario that they want. They'd rather have it worked out with you to make sure that we have a plan in place to make sure that we can bring it back up to good standings. If you defaulted on your mortgage, that's why it's so important. Reach out to your lender immediately. Reach out to your mortgage broker as well, because you want to potentially stop a power of sale and explore how it can be averted. Now, depending on the equity you have in your home, you may be able to refinance the property. Okay, we may be able to actually look at different scenarios in terms of, hey, this is how we can create something in the meantime to help you with this, and maybe pay off the initial mortgage in some cases, arrange a second mortgage to pay off the first mortgage just to give you more time or a buffer. The new mortgage may allow you to reduce your monthly payments. So all of a sudden everything is actually, by re-amortizing the mortgage, everything becomes much more manageable from a cash flow standpoint. Similarly, you may be able to have the opportunity to sell your house prior to power of sale. Okay, so and use the proceeds from the sale to pay off your mortgage balance. If you ever got to the point where that was the case, you would much rather be selling on your own terms than having it under power of sale, because all the fees and everything else, you'll end up with less on your own. So really, really important to make sure that, again, reaching out and saying, hey, listen, how can we navigate around this scenario? So before power of sale can begin, the foreclosing lender needs to serve you notice and allow you for a redemption period. Okay, and in Ontario, that redemption period is 37 days. So you have 37 days to figure out a solution to appease the lender and make sure everything's kind of brought up to good standing. So we have 37 days to do this. If the power of sale is statutory, you have 45 days to come up with the money. Under the Mortgage Act, the lender has no right to commence any further action against you until notice of sale expires. Okay, so let's worst case scenario. What if I'm not able to bring my mortgage up to good standing after the 37 days? Okay, so after the 37-day period, this notice of sale expires. If you can still not bring your mortgage up to good standing, your lender will likely serve you with a statement of claim for the outstanding debt, as well for taking possession of that particular property. After receiving your statement of claim, you have 20 days to file a statement of defense response in court. Not filing a response in court will lead to default judgment. Okay, so definitely that would be something that you don't want, and the award written possession is done to the lender. However, if you do choose to file a defense, okay, you have to be aware that the enforcement security for non-payment is the right of the lender. Okay, so really a successful defense would have to prove that there was an issue with that particular lender. You can't say, I haven't made a payment and I'm going to defend myself and I don't have to make a payment. You still owe the money. There had to be something going on with that particular lender. So once the case goes to court, if the court decides against you, the lender can activate what's called the eviction process. Once the eviction process is completed, your lender will list your house under sale, under power of sale, and use the funds from the sale to pay off the debts. If the final sale price is greater than the amount that's owed on the house, you get the balance. Okay, so basically they pay off the debts. Here's the balance. They're not keeping it. It's not their house. It's your house, but they're just managing to pay off those debts, and then you would get that balance after all the fees have been recovered. If they do not sell the house for enough money to cover the debts, the lender will still hold you responsible to cover the balance. You still are on the hook because you've signed this, and even though they've exhausted all the resources in that particular home, you will still be responsible for any shortfalls. Okay, so just be aware of that. Power sale process applies specifically to the province of Ontario. So other provinces like Alberta, British Columbia follow foreclosure procedures, which has many key differences. We'll talk about that in another blog. Bottom line, nobody likes to think about missing a mortgage payment or defaulting a mortgage. It can be daunting, it can be stressful, but there are several other options to try before your lender forecloses on the property. It's always best to face the situation head on, engage the lender, other professionals, your mortgage professional, definitely your lawyer as well, to help determine the best course of action and how we can navigate to prevent this sort of thing from happening. Okay? Any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Hopefully this helps, and we will see you in the next video.